Hey everyone, I got a cool video here for you guys with Matt on the Swing Catalyst 3D motion plate. So we're gonna take a look at something that Matt and I are gonna work on more so in the winter time. We haven't really dived too deep into the feet stuff, into the pressure stuff too much. He still swings it really good. He's swinging it actually probably the best it's ever been, but we haven't really dived too deep into actually using the ground more efficiently for him. So the video on the left is kind of where he's at right now. The video on the right is what we kind of worked on, kind of the intro to how to use the feet a little bit better. So on the video on the left, you're going to see something very interesting. For a very good ball striker like him, you're actually going to see him rock the pressure back and forth between his lead foot and his trail foot. So he's a lefty, his trail foot is his left foot, his lead foot is his right foot. So I have the two horizontal graphs here laid out for you guys. I'm going to start this at around the same time, start of takeaway. And you're going to see, actually, I'm going to watch the one on the left first, guys. You're going to see when he sets up, he's roughly 58 on the left, 42 on the back. And as he takes it away, he starts loading the left very early, gets to mid 70%, roughly at P2 shaft parallel. And he loses it. He goes back to the right a little bit, dips back to down to mid 60s on the left, before going back to mid-80s at the top of the backswing. So it's actually very interesting. Typically, as a preference, I like people gradually loading the pressure into the inside trail heel, inside trail side, just to make the flow of things easier into the downswing as opposed to moving in two different directions on the backswing. So you can see here, again, if you watch the graph especially, you can see at setup, it starts rising, dips back down before it rises again and starts peaking in a transition. So very interesting. And you can also see the trace is a little bit messier, change in direction here. I'm going to play this at 20% speed. You can see this white dot in the middle is how the trace moves. So back to the left, back to the right, and then back to the left again before making this downswing. So very interesting. So how we work that, and this is actually a thing that I have started seeing more as I've played more with the motion plate, is players who tend to very early, this is a very early hypothesis here, is players who tend to load their trail side very early, loading too much to the trail side early, tends to rock back into the lead side once before going back into the trail side. So you can see Matt here, again, loads left very early. That's why he kind of rocks back to the right before he goes back to the left, because he almost has nowhere to go at that point because he's already 75% on the inside trail side at P2. So the feel for him I had him do on the right here, you can see that the graph is much more constant, slowly rises up as it leads to the peak, is me asking him to load slower. He feels like he's loading the left side slower and later and more gradually in his swing. So you can see here on the right here, roughly 55 on the left, as he takes it away, as from around setup, he's roughly around 50, low 50s to mid 50s on the left, and then as he takes it away, you can see he gradually increases pressure into his left side, and it does not dip down. It continues loading into the left as he gets to roughly the same spot, 84, 85 at the top of the backswing. So he's loading the same stuff. He's loading the same spot, the same amount on both swings. And the numbers are pretty much the same in terms of the speed output. One on the left, he's swinging 95.5 club speed at 126 ball with a 7-iron. Video on the right, he's pretty much the same, 95 club, 125 ball. So pretty much the same, both inside up, both hitting down on it sufficiently, pretty much the same. But the coolest thing here is this. When you watch these swings, I've synced it up as best as I can. When you watch these swings, because I had him not load as early, I'm asking it load later, even though the swing outputs the same speed, the actual swing itself looks way slower. So if I play these for you at 20% speed, synced up, you're gonna see he finishes his backswing way sooner. He pretty much finishes the swing before the new swing finishes the backswing. So you can see, again, play it one more time for you guys. The video on the left, you can see him finish his entire swing. Like, this is impact. Matt's still at the top of the backswing. He hasn't even reached the top yet. as Matt transitions, Matt on the right, Matt's pretty much already almost into his finish, halfway into the finish. So play it one more time for you guys. I'm going to play it in 100% speed here just so it's a little bit more real time. You're going to see way different timings of both swing. One on the left is him loading the trail set very early. One on the right is loading the trail set more gradually, but still gets the same amount on the trail side at the end. And as a result, the look is very different, but the output's still pretty much the same. So very cool video here. I want to share with you guys. I'll play it once more for you guys at kind of half speed. You can see the back and forth on the traces on the left where he goes left, goes right, goes back left, versus the video on the right here, the trace just goes gradually left before going gradually right in the downswing. So 50% speed synced up, way different in terms of the look of it, in terms of the speed of the look, but outputs are pretty much the same. So really cool video here I want to share with you guys. If you're someone who feels like things aren't flowing the best, this might be a good place to start, where you make sure you gradually load into the trail set rather than loading so much in the trail set right away. So we're going to have more videos with Swing Cat coming up in the near future. A couple surprises coming up in the near future, actually. And we're going to have a lot more in-depth ground reaction videos, how to use a ground properly in the Online Academy that's launching later this month, next month in November. So stay tuned for that. Any questions, leave in the comments below, and we'll catch you guys next time. Thanks, guys.